Hi all. Now we are going to discuss about momentum. Okay. So what is momentum? Momentum is defined in physics as product of mass of the object and velocity of the object. So the symbol is P, which we denote momentum in physics, and this is mass with product with velocity, where m is denoting mass and v is denoting velocity of the object. So what is mass and what is velocity? And before going into the definition of momentum, we need to understand both these things, right? So mass of any object is a property, or you can say it is a property which every object, or which it is a characteristic which every object in the nature possesses. So what kind of characteristic and what are the qualities of this property or characteristic? Okay, we need to understand a bit more about that. So mass. So whenever you may have tried measuring your weight by using a weighing machine, or in some places they will ask for a toothpick coin to insert into the machine to tell your weight. Generally in India it is very common in bus stands, in parks, or in general public places. They install these machines so that when you insert a toothpick coin, a card comes out or something on a display. Some nowadays the cards are being abandoned and they are displaying the number on the digital display. Okay, you can see the weight of the person standing on the machine on the display. So let's say you are getting your weight as 80 kg while you stand on a machine. So this is the weight is actually a measure, or a measure of the force that is applied on your body by the earth. So what is happening here is your body is being pulled by earth. Okay, constantly it is being pulled by earth. It's not stopping in any point of time. It is pulling your body 24/7 towards the earth, or towards the earth center, you can say. Okay, so this is a measure of force applied by the earth on your body. Okay, so this force, as we have discussed in the videos previous one, the force on any object depends on what you can say, the characteristic of the body called mass. Okay, so when a force is applied on a body, it may or may not move, as we have discussed earlier. This is depending on the characteristic of body called mass of the body. So when the mass is higher, the object or the body doesn't move for a force applied, you need to apply more force, a very huge force, in order to make it move. Okay. So in the same case, when you have a smaller table, you tend to move it very easily with your hands. Okay, that is because by applying less amount of force, you are able to move it. Okay, so what is the difference between these two objects? Why are you able to move the heavier, not able to move the heavier one, but why are you able to move the smaller one, which is smaller in size, okay, or weight? When you try to measure the two weights of the two objects, the heavier one, which you are not able to move, weighs a lot more heavier. For example, you can say, if you try to move a bus with your hand, it's something around, it might be around some 10 to 20 tons. 10 to 20 tons. Okay. Or truck, or whereas your table in your room may weigh around 10 kgs. Okay, 10 tons means it is 10 into 1000 kgs. That is 10,000 kgs. And it is 10 kgs. The smaller object is around 10 kgs, and let's say the heavier object is around 10,000 kgs. So you cannot move that easily when the object is having a larger weight, and then we can simply move it easily when the weight of the object is comparatively very less. So what makes the difference between these two things is, you can simply observe from this, there is some factor that is different in these two objects, that is the weight. But weight is due to the force on the object by the earth. But this weight, what you can understand is, what you can say is, the weight on an object is given by mass of the object into acceleration of the object due to the earth. Okay, this is the actual quantity that is giving us the weight of an object. Okay, so G is acceleration. Due to force by earth on object. Okay, this is G and this is mass. So whenever the G is constant, generally we take the G as a constant value. Okay, so for any object, that is bigger object or smaller object, the G will remain same. So when you have two cases where weight equal to 10 kgs and weight equal to 10,000 kgs, so that is equal to mg is also equal to, let's say, this mass 1 m2g. So in this case, the mass is 10 by g, and in the second case where the weight is 10,000 kgs, the mass is 10,000 by g. Okay, so um, let's say the G as 10. Okay, let's set G equal to 10. So this comes as 10 by 10 and this comes as 10,000 by 10, which gives me 1000 and which gives me 1. So the mass of the objects here we are getting as 1000 kgs for the heavier one and or 1 for the smaller one. So as you can observe, the larger mass is more susceptible to be in its like to be to know, the larger mass doesn't move that easily when you apply force, and the smaller mass moves easily when you apply smaller force. Okay, so that's what we are trying to understand. When the mass is a property that makes an object, okay, it's generally called as inertial property. And why do we call it as an inertial property is because of the mass, the object doesn't respond to the force we apply. Okay, so it is inert to the force application. You can understand. Okay, you can put it like this way. The mass is higher. When the mass is higher of an object, its response to a force is not that great. Okay, so simply that makes mass as an inertial property of an object which opposes change in motion. Mass is a property which opposes the response to an applied force on an object. Okay, so when I'm pulling or pushing any object, when the mass is higher, the response to that force or to that push or pull is comparatively less when the mass is larger for the object, and the response will be more when the mass of the object is less. Okay, so this is all about mass of an object, and velocity of the object we are going to discuss. So velocity is defined, or you can simply, is also a mathematical term where you can define it as total displacement by total time taken. Okay, so again we will go with displacement. So what is a displacement? So whenever we move from one place to another, let's say right now I'm in Hyderabad and I move from Hyderabad to Bangalore, or I move from Hyderabad to Chennai, or I move from Hyderabad to Mumbai by different means of transport, like let's say a plane or train or a bus. Okay, so I generally travel a distance. Okay, what we ask people is the distance between the Hyderabad and Chennai. What is the distance between Hyderabad and Chennai? What is the distance between Bangalore and Hyderabad? So when we travel, we plan it accordingly. So if the distance is larger, we give it more time to travel. Okay, we invest more time traveling the distance. Okay, so the distance is simply the length of the path, or the length which you can measure when you're traveling. But displacement is the straight line between the two extreme points which we move around. Okay, so let's say I move from Hyderabad is here on the map. Okay, let's say somewhere, let's say this is a landmark, a land map, and this is a location called this is Hyderabad, and this is let's say this is Kochi. So I can possibly move by train or truck through different paths. Okay, but the distance in these different conditions, different cases can be different, but the straight line distance between these two, okay, let's arrange and draw it properly so that we can have a good look between them. So this is Kochi and this is Hyderabad, and I have a straight line between them. Okay. The straight line between these two locations is always a constant. You can't have multiple straight lines, okay, between any two points. You can have only at most only one straight line between any two points. Okay. So what I mean is, convey is the displacement between Hyderabad and Kochi is always constant, and it is a straight line distance between the two locations. Okay, that is displacement. So let's say when I travel through this displacement, or when I travel this displacement, let's say when I have taken 5 hours, and this distance, let us understand, this distance is something around 100 kilometers. Okay, what displacement I had is 100 kilometers when I move from point 1 to point 2. Okay, you can simply obtain by joining the 2 points with a straight line. However, I may travel, take a different path and come to Kochi. I may travel from Hyderabad to London and then come to Kochi from London somewhere, but the displacement between 2 points is always the straight line which we get by joining the 2 points, and that can be only one possible path. Okay, so let's say for I have taken 5 hours to travel from this point to this point, or from Hyderabad to Kochi, and the displacement I can measure is 100 kilometers. So my velocity, which is denoted by V, can be given as total displacement is 100 kilometers by total time taken is 5 hours. It's around 20 kilometer per hour. That is, in an hour I am able to travel 20 kilometers. So something like that, a number is given, and that is the definition of the velocity. Okay, so simply if you try to understand is how much amount of change of displacement, or how much displacement we had while traveling a particular path, and by the divided by the total time taken by us to travel the path. Okay, that's about velocity. So we have talked about velocity and mass, and now our turn is to discuss about the momentum. So momentum is nothing but simply it is a product of the mass and velocity. Let's say we are moving on a bike at 60 kilometers per hour. Okay, 60 kilometers per hour. Let's say it is our speed, and so we are moving at 60 kilometers per hour, and let's say our weight is 80 kgs and the bike weight is 150 kgs. So total weight is around 230 kgs. Okay, so in total we are 230 kgs and we are moving at 60 kilometers per hour on the bike. So the momentum can be given as 230 into the velocity of the object is 60, something around the value will be the product of 230 into 60. So 20. So let's have a product of this thing, and we have 23 into 6 to 18, 6 to the 12, 138. Okay, it is 13800. Okay. So the value of momentum in this case of us when we are traveling on a bike is 13800 units. Okay, so that's about momentum. Hope you understand and hope you like it. Thank you.